What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are making some side skirts for the Arrma Felony. Stick around and find out how. Alright everyone, today we are making some side skirts for the Arrma Felony. Going to be using a piece of G10 that I bought off Amazon. I will put a link to the description in that. I forgot how thick it is. I think it's 3mm. It's about the same thickness as the side skirts that are on there. So I have seen a bunch of other ones on Amazon, eBay for sale, but I want to make some that actually contour to the side of the body, and I will show you how I'm going to do that. So I did cut two strips just shy of 2.5 inches. It's about 2 7/16, and I used some double-sided tape to put them together. I use this stuff a lot. It's very helpful when you're making two of anything. They do have a permanent version and a non-permanent version. I use a little bit of both because I want them to stay together pretty well, and I'm not worried about damaging this stuff when I pull them apart. Might have to stick a utility knife in there to get it started, and then should be okay. So I do this to make sure I have two pieces that are the same width. I run them right through the table saw. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to attach this to there with some more of that tape, and that way I can cut out the perfect length. As you can see, when you're looking at the bottom of it, we have to get this piece the perfect angle to fit there. I'm gonna bring it straight out after that, and this piece will go straight out after that. Once I get that on, I'm going to drill the holes through both of them, put the screws in to make sure that the holes line up, or else I'll have to start over or make the holes bigger. Once I do that, I will trace out the side of it for the contour that I want, and then work on cutting it. We're going to use a number 31 drill bit to make sure that this acts as our guide. I'm going to use a small spacer here just so the chuck does not hit the fence, and it doesn't matter if it's exactly parallel because this distance will be the same assuming we keep this in the same spot. That seems pretty good. So now, theoretically, if we pull this off. So now after we remove this, we're gonna remove the tape. I like to use a chisel. That seems to be the best way. Just be careful if you're ever doing this off wood that you don't cut into the wood. There we go. Have that tape removed. Now the moment of truth to see if, well, little tape left, the holes line up. We can always drill them out a little bigger. We can countersink them in the end. But just to get an idea, yeah, they all look pretty good. Right there. Because we'll flip this around. There you can get a little better idea what they look like. They're not sitting perfectly flush now because I do need to take a hair off of that, but I will put the body on, and then I'm going to trace the edge of the body. So now that I have the body sitting on top, I can see where my contour is on the body. I don't want them to stick out this far all the way, but I can mark my points of where the contour and the body changes. And I can come down here I can kind of look at that line there, and I'm gonna have it go I'm not sure how well the light is, but I'm gonna have it go straight across there like that. So it comes into here, comes out, and then comes out here. So once I take this off, we can probably see a little better. I know my point is going to be right here. My other contour changes right here. It's right there, so I'm going to want this to be straight from there to there. I'm gonna have this go in slightly to like that, to there, and from this point it's going to go from here about like that. How are we gonna cut this? I haven't thought about that yet, but we'll do it together. So I measured this distance here. I'm gonna cut slightly out further, and I'm just gonna do a straight line down here to this point right here, and then I think I'll use the miter saw to do that. I'm gonna lower the blade so it's not sticking up a lot. So we got that cut out there. So I have this all set up. I have it clamped down so my fingers don't have to be close to the blade. And I am going to cut in here and back. So now I am going to clean up this edge. I'm going to finish sanding it off by hand just to get the edges nice and smooth. I prefer to do stuff like this on a downdraft table because this stuff does make a lot of dust and it's pretty harmful to breathe it in. Well, any dust really. I got these all cleaned off and generally shaped to how I want them. I will do some finish sanding at the end. So now we can test out again to make sure they fit okay. The holes do line up. If anything, I can run this along a sander just to take a hair off before I countersink them. And the good sides are facing in, so they will face up. The parts that are already scratched here is going to be on the bottom. So there you can kind of see how it'll look. I'm going to do one more test to make sure they fit and see how much I need to shave off. After quite a bit of sanding, fine-tuning to get this edge right, to get all the holes to line up, I'm happy with where it's at. I can tune each individual one a little more after I separate them, so now the daunting task of separating these with that double stick tape. Wish me luck. So that actually wasn't quite as bad as I thought it would be. I got a utility knife in there and just dragged them along the line. Get some of the adhesive off. So I got all the holes countersunked. I can go in a little deeper if I want to, but you can take a look at what it looks like. And like I said, these pieces aren't perfect. There are some scratches on them, but there'll be plenty more to come. This card only does have maybe 10 runs on it. But I am dying to see what it looks like once the body is on. So before I even put the other side on, I am going to put the body on, flip it around, and see what we got. So right now you can see what they look like before I put the top on. They also give this a much nicer place to carry it. Without those, when you pick it up from the bottom, if you hit the sides, they're kind of flimsy. But let's see what we got. I kind of just freehand it, so we'll see if we got the look I want. That looks like it's set on nice. Wow, that looks awesome. I love it. A little more aerodynamic, protects the side of the body, gives it a nice secure place to sit on. Alright, I just got both of the side skirts installed. The space between these screw holes here and this was slightly smaller on this side, and I wasn't sure what the reasoning was, but I know that these connect to the battery bay on the other side. So I loosened up all the screws around here that hold the battery tray in, pulled it out a little bit, tightened these down, and kind of just rotated as I tightened them, and then now I have a nice, clean, flush fit along there. You can see both of them, and I will flip it over so we can take a look. So I did finish the side skirts, and I said I wasn't going to, but I did paint the top of them, the part that you'd see up here, flat black. The pieces were a little bit scratched up, like I said. I don't care about the bottom, they're just gonna get more scratched up, but I wanted the tops to look a little nicer, so I did paint those flat black. And again, we are replacing these, if you wanna call them side skirts, with these, and I will put them on for the final install. I'm gonna flip this baby upside down. And there we are. We have the side skirts installed. That's the bottom view. And from the top, I think that looks awesome. So the benefits of this, it's gonna be a little more aerodynamic. I did not make them stick out too much further than the body. I kind of like the way it looks with them contouring to the edge, but it will provide a lot more rigidity to the edge of the body, and they do press down on there. So this part that's not really locked in at higher speeds is going to be a lot more stable. I think it really brings the edge of the car together, makes it look a lot better. I'll give you a little bit of a close-up view. I do think I'm going to use the same G10 and trace this piece down here and make one that's a little stiffer. This piece is pretty soft, which is good, but it's already getting banged up, and before it gets too banged up, I want to make a copy out of wood so I can just cut my own out if they ever get damaged. And this G10 is a lot stronger. It's not as light as carbon fiber, but it probably is lighter than this piece. I don't know. But yeah, that looks awesome.